Okay, this is a really key point. Now, when you look at the sun, can you see through the sun? And the answer is no. What we say here is that the sun is opaque. So what do I mean that the sun is opaque? That the energy density in the sun is so high that electrons and nuclei cannot form. But here's what I'm saying here. Before, the 380-year mark, the energy density of the universe was too high. Is that the universe was too hot to allow atoms to form. In other words, this really implies that electrons are not captured by nuclei. And so what I'm saying here is that, as an example, if you look at the sun, it's opaque. And if it's opaque here, that means that you can't see through it. And what you're finding here is that the reason why you can't see through it is that if you look at the surface of the sun, is 5,000 degrees Celsius. And therefore, no electrons can connect with nuclei. So if you were to look at the universe at the beginning, you would see, before 380,000 years, it would be opaque. You wouldn't be able to see it. But the really important thing here is that, remember, from quantum mechanics, the only way light is created is when electrons jump energy levels. So if they cannot jump energy levels, quantum mechanics says that no light is released. So if electrons cannot, be in energy levels, no light is released. Think about that. Before 380,000 years, electrons are not atoms. And if electrons can't jump, there's no light that can be created. Then, this is the important point now. So then after 380,000 years, electrons latch on to nuclei. This means electrons can now be in energy levels. Is that now light is released into the universe for the first time, right? So in essence, this is first light. This is first light. And this is first light. This is the cosmic microwave background, right? This is the cosmic microwave background. This is the first light, as I would say this. Right, I should have made that big. Maybe I'll make it red. This is first light. That's why the cosmic microwave background is so important. It really tells us when you had the first formation of atoms. So what happens at 380,000 years? We have these quantities. We have hydrogen, 75%. It's actually a tiny bit less than 75%. Helium at 25%. It's actually a tiny bit below 25%. And then we have lithium and beryllium. And these are in very, very small trace amounts. These are the first 4 atoms. Yeah, that's I think that's huge. And that's why the microwave background is so important. So now, since we've been using the periodic table, we might as well continue to do this. So we now have this amount, right? We have these atoms. And you know, there's so much here. I could, like I said, I could spend a whole course just on this chapter alone, or this section alone. And what I'm hoping to do is actually just maybe get you excited enough that you might want to read about this thing. Like, here's something that's really, really crazy. Lithium. Oh gosh, what a beautiful little atom. Lithium is amazing. Now, lithium, what is lithium? This is a salt, like sodium. So sodium is the salt that you get in, like your table salt, sodium. And what you want to, but remember, lithium, what's really interesting about lithium is that it has that one extra proton. And as a consequence of that, it really changes the behavior of lithium, right? One of the most important pills is lithium pills. It can really change the balance of the brain. By the way, if you do this with sodium, it does that a tiny bit, but not that much. But it essentially, because it's a salt, it allows the neurons to travel better through the brain for certain people. And that's something that not everybody understands why that happens. So that's really, really important. And it really helps with certain people with mental illness. And then, of course, we have the lithium batteries. I mean, there's lots of other applications, but the lithium batteries are a big deal in today's society. A lot of the high storage of batteries is due to lithium, but yet the only way we know of how lithium is created was in this trace amounts in the Big Bang. But that's not the way we collect lithium. So there's a periodic table of the Big Bang or just the creation of atoms. And what we find is that it looks something like this here. Let me bring this over here. And I think I'm going to make this smaller. And what you're going to see here, I think I'll put it right over here. So what you're finding here is that this is what's important about lithium. So when you look at how, even though lithium and beryllium are in tiny, tiny trace amounts, it's this thing that you want to think about. Cosmic rays. Most of the lithium and beryllium that is formed here on Earth come from cosmic rays. So all of the lithium that we see here on Earth is due to cosmic rays. So what do I mean by cosmic rays? What you find here is that you could imagine that this is the surface of the Earth. And then what we'll do here is that air is a combination of nitrogen and oxygen gas. So that means this is N2, this could be O2. So you have all these particles here. And so cosmic rays are cosmic invaders. And these guys, there's a bunch of them. There's protons, so these are the cosmic rays. And what happens here is that as you have collisions with the air molecules, part of it here is that lithium effectively is converted into these things here. During the collisions between the cosmic rays and the air molecules. That is crazy when you think about that. But that's how most of the lithium, all of the lithium, I keep saying most, all of the lithium is made. We now move to the next stage and look at right here. So remember, at 380,000 years, there's only 4 atoms. Now we get to the next stage. And this is the next stage right here. Look at that. It's called the Dark Ages. So if I look at this thing, what I'm saying here is that after 380,000 years, there are only 4 nuclei or 4 atoms. Also, there are no stars in the universe. Think about that. There are no stars in the universe, and because of this, they call this the Dark Ages. And it's a long time. And so what you're seeing here, so if I take my picture again, I think I'm just going to bring it down here instead of jumping all over the place. So when you look at this thing, here's the picture that I'm talking about, is that here is the Dark Ages right here. Between here. So when the first, so from 380,000 years to 200 million years, there are no stars. And around 200 million years, the first stars are born. So at 200 million years, the first stars are born. And that takes us to our second stage here. And our second stage